an opening, a clearing in the forest, in the bush, and he gathered his wives together and his children, and he took his axe. And just as the war party were coming to surround him, he put that axe in the side of his head, and his blood gushed out, killed himself, but his blood gushed out and covered his children and his wives with his blood. And so what happened then was the war party came, they looked at him, oh yeah, he's dead. They looked at the children and the women who they could use as slaves and wives, but they couldn't touch them. Because you see, they were covered in his blood, which made them sacred, they were talking. This is how our people view blood. You see, they hold it as really sacred. And so when you have TaaMoko done on your face, on your body, you always draw blood. And so some of the things that our people know is that the patterns we use, like the patterns on my arm, my face, my chest, my legs, and I don't really wear a lot, because I found that after you do your face, all the rest is kind of, yeah, you know, it's important, but not that important once you've done your whole head, you know. So I keep all the stuff above my eyes covered, because that's kind of not for public consumption. All the stuff here, from the eyes down, we call it the interresting, this world. And all the stuff that's carved into my face from the eyes up, that's the interresting. I believe that's for my family, that's for my people, my tribe. So I tend to keep that covered. Mind you, this is just the way I personally wear TaaMoko. Some of my relatives don't do it, they're quite happy to have the whole thing exposed. Right? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to let Brent have a little talk, because what we've started doing, Brent and I, is I've started making these tools. These were some of the traditional types of tools that my people used to use. But I'll let Brent talk about the use of them, because he's the expert in putting them in the skin. I understand the traditional ways of wearing TaaMoko, and I also work with what we call the pounamu, which you know as jade. And Brent will just talk to you a little bit about, we're going to do a demonstration after this in there about how to use these tools and how they cut. Okay? But look, I want to share one more thing just before Brent talks, and that is the word obligation. When you start wearing our patterns, you know, one of my elders said to me, we can't stop people from wearing our patterns. We can't tell you what to put on your skin. We can't tell other tattooists what to put on people and what not to, because we don't have that right. But what we can do is we can say, if you're going to use our patterns, then understand that there's a little bit of what they mean. They create an obligation, but they also mean that you advertise my ancestors. When you're wearing our patterns, you're wearing an advertisement talking about my ancestors, and I've got really good ancestors. Wherever I go, my ancestors come with me. They're on my skin, they're a part of my body, they're in my DNA. So I'm not here to say don't use our patterns. I'm here to say that when you do use our patterns, understand a little bit more. You know, I've got one of my friends now, he works in Amsterdam, and from now on he gives the blood back to the people. All the stuff he wipes off his patients, or no, not patients, I suppose that's not a good word, but of his recipients, he gives them their blood so they can deal with that themselves. Because for us, blood is sacred. So I'll just let Brent have a bit of a chat about these tools, because he is the expert at putting the ink into the skin using these tools. Kia ora.
Hi guys. Basically what Te Kaha is talking about and with these tools is it's quite exciting. We've gone back with the pounamu, with the stone, crystal type of material, and it works different. The needles was, for me, it was a break of protocol. It was something that was becoming modern. I think if we're talking about an ancient art, then we need to go back to why and where it came from. And it works totally different. The stone creates a different mark than the needle. After the stone, we went to bone or pig's tusk, and this created a different marking again. But the stone has a different feel. As Te Taha would be able to explain a little bit more with the feeling and the understanding of the stone, it lives. It has a identity, is this right? It has an energy, whereas the modern needle doesn't have that. So if we're trying to create something that has an energy and has a life, and reawaken something, exactly, yeah. So this is it. This is the life of TaaMoko. And we really believe that. So we're hoping that we can pass that on.
Hey, thank you, Brent. Look, just what Brent brought up is a really good topic, is that Pounamu, we know as it has a living force. Stone, Pounamu, it's still alive, it's not dead. We see the Pounamu, you call it jade, but my people have been working with Pounamu for well over 1,000 years, longer than that. They've got examples that go back 1,500 years, and those are just the ones that different museums have found. But I have seen ancient tools made out of Pounamu for cutting the skin. Our people didn't use the serrated edge, and they didn't use the ink lines. They just used a straight blade. And what they would do is they would cut the skin open, and they would cut the designs into the face, and then they would rub the ink into the cuts. And the ink was very special because nobody's making that ink today, because as I explained yesterday, the ink, you need a dog. And the dog was because you needed to take two different compounds and you needed to transform them into one. And the two different compounds was bird fat and soot. And so they would make little balls of bird fat and they would roll them into the soot from a certain tree. And then these soot balls, they would then starve a dog for about a week. And then they would feed it to the dog. And when the dog defecated, they would take that feces and then they would burn it and turn it to ash. And that was the foundation of the ink. And they used to do other things, add other things to it. And that ink used to stop the lines healing, so you would have scarification. And they would then add, there's a certain caterpillar we have. When it's in its chrysalis stage, you crush that caterpillar and it gives you that beautiful purple-blue colour. And that's how they would put the colour into the ink. They would use the ash from the dog feces, they would burn it totally so it was completely burnt to ash, and then the caterpillar and a bit of oil, and there's your ink. But that ink, it had a special effect, that it would stop the healing. And so instead of the skin healing together, it would heal in bridges where the cuts were. And that's how our people used to carve faces. They used to carve the face so it looked like a wood carving. Okay? And so we didn't actually have to use the serrated edge. The points are there so that the lines would hold the ink on the blades. Our people didn't bother with the ink, they just cut the face. Yeah, the ink was a lot thicker, and you would then rub it into the face, into the cut lines afterwards. So these are a revival. I've got some of them that are serrated and some of them that are...
These are marked too.
So Brent has been using them and putting them in. The wood that we're using is the hardest wood in my country. All our weapons used to be made out of this wood. This wood is called maide, black maide. And it's really, really hard wood. And so that's what I'm using to make the handles. And Brent calls this a sao. We call it it's a pāpuni. That's the other name for this that us Māori are using. These are known as the takau, and that you'll know these tools as an uhi, but we also have another name for them, a takau. That's another name for these tools. You see, but these are all old names that our people have been using for a long time. This form of doing TaaMoko is ancient, and if you've got another minute or two, I'll tell you how the first TaaMoko came into the world. It's quite an interesting story. It goes like this. This man called Mata Ora, he saw this woman who was really beautiful, and he fell in love with her. And so they got married, and one day, this is the version that everyone back home knows. And one day, you know, he came home and he got jealous of her, you see. So he gave her the bash, and she went home to her father. And he came to his senses, he woke up, and he followed her. And when he got down to where she's from, he found out that her father carved faces. And eventually he got his father-in-law to do his face. And so him and his wife came back into this world, and he brought the art of doing this. We call it TaaMoko, right? Yesterday I talked a bit about that word TaaMoko, T-A. T-A with a macron, or you can spell it T-A-A. It's a long A sound, TaaMoko. That's what we call this. But you can also call that for all the designs on the body. Now, all the different designs have different meanings. You know, we have the hammerhead shark design, and that design talks about. I also do it because I carve the stone and I have the shark tooth in there. And I use stone, but our people also carve skin. And the hammerhead shark design, it talks about never give in. You see? So in the old days, you could look at a person and you could look at all the designs on their body and you can read the story of them. See? So I can look at other people's faces who have been done. I can look at old ones that have been done, and you can begin to read the story that has been carved into their face. You can look at because the story, the face will tell you a story. All the lines, they represent stuff. It's getting a little bit difficult today because, well, we have words around today that we never had before. You know, I mean, how do you talk about a computer? You know, using the ancient symbols. There's so many new things that, yeah, it's a little bit difficult. But TaaMoko has been around a long time, it'll be here for a long time yet. The other thing, hey, look, just quickly, does anyone have a question? No? Oh, good, we're doing a good job, and we must be explaining it. See, look, the other thing is this, is that we in our race, us Māori people, we understood the truth. And the truth was that the very first human being was a woman, wasn't a man. The very first human being created in our culture was a woman. And then one of our atua, yeah, we won't go into describing what that, like, you can describe, for me, the best description of an atua is one of the natural energies of the world, okay? The atua, he changed himself and became her husband. And then the very first baby that was born to the first human being, who was a woman, was a woman. And us men, we were the last to be created. In our culture, one of the foundations of our culture is that you always respect your elder. You see? So to us, women are the elders. Men, we're the tamer. We call it the tuakana is the elder and the tamer is the younger. And you see, Brent was just explaining, just asking me about, we call it karakia, which is one of the names for incantation prayer. All TaaMoko was about connecting with the atua before you start wearing these patterns. You see? And the reason we do that is because these patterns are a physical manifestation of knowledge and gifts that were given to us by the atua. You know, when a TaaMoko is done properly, it's the person doing the ink is simply the vessel who has received the information and is making visible what's already in what we're born with. You see? So all of what you see on me, that's the people who have worked on me receiving guidance and go, oh, okay. So like the last guy, TaaMoko, who did my chest. When he did my chest, I came in, I lay down. He didn't even bother to. He started drawing me up, and he went to say to me, "What do you think of that?" And I said, "Hey, you're the expert, not me. You do what you've been guided to do." And then he did it, and when I finished, he said, "Man, that's awesome. You trusted me." And I said, "No, I trusted the process." See, this for us is TaaMoko, that when we go to an expert, a tohuna, we trust that person to receive the knowledge that needs to be received and then to do the work. That's how we do it, and that's why we have this thing called karakia, where we're using a chant, we connect with our atua, and they give us the guidance we need. Because, you know, as you all know, it doesn't rub off. You know, once it's there, that's it, man, it's there, eh? I mean, yeah, they talk about laser and all the rest of it, but when you do your whole body or your whole face and all that, it's not going to rub off in a hurry. It's there forever, man. And for us, we know that TaaMoko is not just for this lifetime. For me, I know that after I move from this realm into the next realm, this is coming with me. We know that this is the only thing you can take with you when you go into the other world. You can have all the money in the world, you can have all the assets, and they all get left here when you move on, except TaaMoko. TaaMoko comes with me. When I go into that next world, this is coming with me. And for us, that's a really cool thing, you know. And I haven't yet found anyone who can say that that's not true. If you hear of anyone, let me know, because I'd be interested to talk to that person, you know. It means they've been there and come back and said, no, it doesn't work like that. It does work like that. So for us, karakia or chanting is very important before we do TaaMoko, because it connects us to the natural energies of the world, and that's where we get the ability to wear TaaMoko from. Yep. And the reason why I started with the stone is because, you see, one of the cool things about using the pounamu, or jade as you know it, is that pounamu is a healing stone. You see? And what I was doing is I was creating a healing vibration. And this is another thing we tend to do at home when we're doing TaaMoko, we'll create a vibration. We know that vibration and tone creates healing. That's why TaaMoko, the uhi is so cool, is because you hear that pattern. If you go in, after this, if you come in and listen to Brent and Lawrence and you listen to the tapping, it creates a really nice rhythmic sound. And this one here on my arm, this is Kione Nunez this is from Hawaii, and it's done with the uhi, and it's way better than the gun. I really do like the tapping rather than everything else I wear is done with the gun. My face was done with in 1995 with a gun, because back then we didn't have anyone who could use these tools. And I've got to tell you, those of you who wear ink, you don't want to lie down and let someone learn on your face. You know, you just don't want to do it, man. And so yeah, my face was done with a gun. Those of you who heard of those bird guns, you know, those prison guns that they make out of an old Walkman motor, you know, and a pen and some rubber bands and things. Well, that's how the guy did my face. But the thing was, I was number 50. He had done 49 other heads before he did mine, so he kind of knew what he was doing. And the really good thing for me was lying there in absolute agony, and his face had as much ink as what he was putting into mine. And one of the things we find is that when you're carving somebody's face and they're looking at you and your face is carved too, you know that they know the pain that you're going through. It's a lot easier to take that way. They know too. I'll tell you one last story. We had a relative of mine, he was having his face done. He wanted it done all in one day. What I've got on my face is 5 sessions of between 4 and 8 hours per session. And so we decided to do them in one day. And after about 5-6 hours, he was lying on the table, and me and another cousin of mine were standing outside watching through the window. And my cousin says, "Hey, look, he's at the toe curling stage." You know, because you get to this point where the pain is so intense that your toes, they actually do this really weird thing, you know, and it feels like they distort. And him and I started laughing, you know, we were laughing because we know. And this other fellow, what we call Papa Tia. Tia means white, pale. His face, he didn't have, you see, we had a name for people who didn't wear TaaMoko, because back in the day, if you didn't have something like this, then there was something wrong with you see? And so we had a name for them. They were called Papa Tia, blank face. And so this man who had no thing, he started laughing too. And my cousin turns around and gives him the monster look and says to him, "What the hell are you laughing at, man?" You know? We were laughing because we understood. Most of the people here, you've all been through the pain, you know? That sign up there, that's great. Of course it fucking hurts. Yeah, it does. But it's worth it. You know, how many of you get asked, "Oh, did it hurt?" Yeah, right, of course it bloody hurt, you know? But it's worth it. So hey, look, without too much more taking your time, I'm going to sort of hand it over to Brent to close it down, and then you're all welcome to come next door, and he's going to show you some how you use these tools. Because I just want to reiterate, I do not put ink into skin. I carve stone, but I do make really good tools, even if I say so myself. And Brent, he's the one who uses them, and he says, yeah, they're really good. Brent is very good at doing what he does. Okay. So if you want to come on along, I'm going to set up, get the guy ready to be heard, and maybe Takaya could explain a little bit about the panama, about the stone, and the energy that the stone gives. So it's like I said before, the metal needle that we were using for a while, it didn't have the same sort of energy. And same with we were using pig's tusk, bird bone, and it didn't have the same sort of energy as well. It was a dead thing, whereas this is alive. This is an ancestor. So you'll explain more about that while I set up and get the guy ready to tattoo. And we'll show you how it works in the skin. Exciting. Come and watch if you like. Cool? Thank you.
Thank you.